Hey guys, so a user requested to make this type of videos that is pretty much recommendations for hero shop heroes that they make available each month. So yeah, why not? So if they keep changing heroes every single month, I'll be doing these, no problem. So for the month of February, we have this guy, Gardor. Gardor, I've seen a lot of free-to-play, even cheat-to-play players use Gardor a lot. He's pretty useful in some events like speedrun. I've seen him be used very successfully in that situation. And he's very useful at actually making enemy targets miss and not be able to hit you and things like that. That was a very old way to try to get Palmyra to actually not kill you back in the time, but he could be used under other targets that are killing your team in that situation, like Adretha, for example. That's a good target. So if you choose Gardor, yeah, he could definitely help you with that, especially when you're free to play. You need a good agility hero to actually hold the 4-star stone weapon in that situation. And Gardor, between all the 5 stars, he's probably one of the best choices to actually do that. And you can actually get him pretty easily. So if you need a hero like that, you could choose Gardor. However, more than cheap to play and forward, Gardor is not used too much. I very rarely see him being used. So if you're starting out, if you're needing a good agility hero in green, you can get Gardor, sure, but I don't recommend him to get it in higher levels in that situation. Now Stelite, okay, guys, I love Stelite. This guy, it was so amazing back in the day. You could use him in PvE like everywhere. Well, you can still use him in PvE and like everywhere. In the past, you could use him like on defense, and you would slap like a whip. In other words, the energy weapon for. They get you 60% mana there for the entire team, except him, of course. But the thing is that Stelite's ability doesn't work with versus shields. So, yeah, in that situation, he won't be used very much in PvP. Because in PvP, there are shields everywhere. Unless there's an enemy that doesn't use any shields. So, Stelite's going to do wonders for you in that situation. And, yeah, as long as you don't play him in F2 and War. So, Stelite has been used less, but that doesn't mean that he's useless. If you're free to play, cheap to play, you'll be able to use him a lot. I mean, a lot. In campaign, in bosses, and things like that. So he can be useful in that situation, especially if you already have heroes that produce a lot of stones, like Fiona, like Alia. Once you have those 2 heroes, and so Abigail, even at +0, you can actually create a lot of stones. And when in that situation, he's gonna do nice damage when he started throwing his waves all over there in that situation. However, in high-level play, he's not used. I've never, yeah, he's not being used in high-level play, sadly. But free-to-play, he's a pretty good hero if you use him on PvE. Now, this gal, Morela, this gal, usually on the attack, she is freaking amazing. I've used her +0, I used her +5. In everywhere that I've used her, she's pretty freaking amazing, especially versus bosses. Because the thing is that her ability stacks. It's stats, so it's just not 20. If you activate her every turn consecutively, the enemy's gonna get to the point that which they're gonna have 60 freaking% damage dealt to them in that situation. So yeah, any hero that can raise 60% damage dealt is going to be very, very relevant. And the beauty of this is that even at +0, she will be able to do that. You just have to make sure to give her a very good shield weapon, because she's pretty squishy. But if she survives and you're able to make her activate many times over, she will be able to destroy the enemies in PvE and PvP as well. So she's a very good hero to use on the attack in PvP. and PvE, as I already said. However, don't use her on defense. I've tried her in defense many different ways, and she's not working, guys. Sorry, she's not really doing her stuff there. So, but if you don't have Morela, she is of the three that I just mentioned, she is by far the best option for sure. At +0 versus bosses, she's gonna change your game. 100% sure. Highly recommend it there. Now, for the second level here, let's talk about Agatha. Agatha is the bread and butter of a free-to-play, cheap-to-play player when using yellow, because she heals, she cleanses your team, and she also dispels. I mean, she pretty much does everything. And on top of that, she gives 25% attack and defense to all of your church heroes. So, and most of the best yellow heroes are in the church options there, including Zeus. He's also from the church, yeah. So he's gonna get 25% attack and defense. So pretty good hero. If you don't have her and cheap to play, free to play, it's highly recommended to get her. She will be very useful. She's an amazing holder of the stone weapon. For her, both in 4-star and 5 stars, both. She's an amazing holder for that. She is a slow hero, but it's going to be. It gets to the point of the fight in which you want her to go off as much as possible. You want her to go off. You need her to go off to be able to beat the enemy. You have to dispel those Isidoras or cleanse those Elmis and all that. It's yeah. She's very useful. Very good option for a free to play, cheap to play. Lately, for higher level play in guilds and things like that, I haven't seen Agatha being used a lot, because the thing is that Lorenzo is being used more than her in that situation, and since it creates so many shields, Lorenzo is the one that's taking care of the cleansing and things like that. But that doesn't mean Agatha is a bad hero. She's a very good hero and highly recommended to get if you don't have her, and especially if you're starting out. She will serve you very well. I've used her for many months for sure. Now this guy over here, Cynthia, I still use her for some boss fights in that situation, because the thing is that even though Abigail is able to raise the attack, the boss will eliminate that buff at certain point, and for you to get that buff again, it does take some time. So there's going to be a window in which you don't get that buff for attack and things like that. While Cynthia, the boss goes off, eliminates all your buffs, and then you activate Cynthia right off the bat. And if you have it +3, you'll be able to do additional damage, skill damage from your blue team in that situation. So Cynthia isn't exactly like completely replaced, but she is able to be used in the attack in the situation. In pretty much in any area, if you're cheap to play, free to play, whale, whatever, whichever one of those, she can be used in different situations there. However, as I said, since Abigail does raise the attack and dispel and heal and he hits like a truck, yeah, she pretty much has been replaced a lot with Abigail in that respect. But if you don't have Abigail and you don't have a good blue buffer and a good weapon holder, specifically if you have the 5-star weapon for blue, Cynthia is an amazing hero doing those things. So if you need that, I can recommend you to get her. However, in higher level play, she has been used a lot less than before for sure, because the thing is that she does a lot of stuff. However, at the time that actually doing the damage, she's not a really high damage deal in that situation, sadly, and Abigail is. So yeah, I don't recommend her for high level play as well, but however, if you need a good buffer for blue, she could be a good option for you. Now this guy over here, I already bought her because I couldn't resist her. I mean, after so many years of not having Venus, how can I not get her? I mean, in that situation. But I already actually created a video on Venus specifically. so you can watch that without any problems, so you can see more in depth what I think about Venus. But in general, you can use, if you have Venus's weapon, you are able to use her as an attack hero, which is very, very useful in PvE specifically, because the thing is that her ability to actually put the debuff on the enemy, if the enemy is shielded, they're not going to get that buff, so that's a big problem for PvP specifically. However, in PvE, I think that she does have a space for that. She does do nice amounts of damage. She does get a very high amounts of crit with her weapon, which does make her relevant there for sure. So, and besides all that, if she's good, if she's not, I mean, guys, this hero has been denied to us for years. I mean, plural, years. I mean, come on, guys. Even if she's a bad hero or a good hero, you need to try to get this hero, because we really don't know if we're gonna get her again in the future. We don't know. We don't know if we're gonna get soul stones. We don't know if we're going to get opportunity to get the hero again. We simply don't know. So just because of that, I would highly recommend to get that hero, because the ability to get her weapon, her equipped weapon is absolutely bonkers powerful. Let me show real quick here. Shouting Gale, Venus. Let me show you her weapon here. This weapon usually will get 75% crit to any hero on whichever that you slap on, as long as you don't use any shields. On that hero, if you don't have any shields on that hero, you're usually gonna get this high amounts of crit, 75% in that situation. And with Venus, of course, 105. So yeah, it's pretty much overkill with the crit. So just because of this weapon, I highly recommend as well, because it's gonna be very useful for many of your agility heroes for sure in that situation. So yeah, simply because we don't know when we'll be able to get the opportunity to get Venus again, I highly recommend you to get her for sure in that situation. So yeah, I hope they really give like a nice surprise about Venus. Maybe they'll be able to give you the option to get the stones. Maybe they're gonna bring a skin. You don't know. That's the thing about the future. Let's see what they cook up. So, and finally, last but not least, Wukong. I have shown you how powerful, how broken Wukong can be used on his video for sure. Even though he's not exactly a hero that a lot of people use, he is a monster with bosses, an absolute monster, guys. And especially if you have his weapon, he's gonna do pretty much 100% crit chance he'll be having there, and be doing a lot of damage, especially if you have a Searcher next to him. That is pretty crazy right there. So yeah, if you don't have Wukong, he's an excellent option to actually get him. And as many heroes and that I mentioned in the past, like I think this one you're able to get it in shop in the events. This one as well you can get the stones. This one as well you can get the stones if I'm not mistaken. And Wukong, you're able to get him in the events as well. In other words, the soul stones to be able to awaken him at +5. So that's another advantage you have for Wukong, because in time you will be able to get him to +5 through events there, if you're cheap to play in that situation. So if you don't have Wukong, I highly recommend you to get him, because any hero that you're able to get him to +5 creates stones in red, in which red has a lot of problems creating stones. And it's a hero that's going to change your game if you play in PvE versus bosses. Yeah, I highly recommend to get Wukong if you don't have him, because yeah, we're in an age that you're able to +5 heroes that in the past you only dreamt of actually getting to +5, guys. So yeah, very good, guys. Very powerful stuff. Alright, guys, so that's pretty much the end of the video in that situation. Oh, wait. Alright, so this player asked to do a shout out for her guild. So why not? Let's just do it. Russia. Yeah, I actually really love this guild. I love playing versus these guys in Summit. They're pretty awesome. They're pretty good guys. I hope you keep fighting very powerfully in Summit so we can keep having fun with each other, guys. And can anyone tell me who this character is? He's like this Mickey Mouse looking dude. Oh, he looks pretty cool. If anybody knows about that, please let me know in the comments. I'm honestly really curious about that. That looks very similar to Mickey Mouse, and I like the look. I really like the look. All right, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you think I made a mistake, please leave it in the comments and we'll talk about it. All right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.